There's a new way to grow your CGPA that the top students are using to get higher and higher every single moment, like these two.
My goal is to increase, but for now it is 4.9.
Not as much as I like it to be, but thank God for what I have.
While the rest of you are even stuck or even worse, going down. And so I'm not going to be sharing the minor things like note taking, answering questions in class, but I'm actually going to talk about the 4 major aspects that actually grow your CGPA and will actually move the needle. And along with that, I'm going to be sharing a worksheet later on in the video. I'm showing you how to use it. And so if you permit me, let's get into it. And so this first part is called research and activity. And for this first part to work, we will need to travel back in time, right back to the beginning of this semester. Obviously, I do not have a time machine, but I'm sure you can remember how this semester went. So you are going to try to answer some of these questions. Like now, what time did you wake up during this semester? Did you go for classes? If you went for classes, what were you doing during the classes? Did you engage in personal reading? Did you involve yourself in collaboration? Were you attentive during class? These are the things that we need to think about. This is an exercise created by a lecturer in my school called Mrs. Ada Peter. And so if you're a 5.0 student, you need to start thinking, oh, how did I read before? What did I do that actually made me have that 5.0? What were the efforts that I put in? Did I pray more? Did I read more? What did I do exactly that didn't help me to move the needle? If you're somebody that's trying to move from a 2-2 to a 2-1, oh, I noticed I was sleeping in class when the lecturer was talking. Oh, I didn't do my assignment, so time came for test. I was there watching anime. These are the things that you need to figure out and write down to ensure that you do not repeat those same mistakes all over again. And so once you've seen the things that ruined your last semester or actually aided your last semester, you need to start figuring out the blueprints for this our new semester. Avengers! And it's going to be bloody. So we're going to need to assemble the Avenger that are going to help us to actually make this new semester a whole lot better. Our first Avenger, your reading style. How are you going to read? Are you going to be using the Feynman technique? Are you going to be using Pomodoro? Are you going to be using write down from memory? What reading style are you going to use that's going to actually aid your success? And so the second Avenger is actually going to be your reading location. Once you actually know how you want to read, you actually need to figure out where on net are you going to be reading that's going to facilitate your reading. You're not going to obviously go and read in your room when you know you'll be watching TikTok, or don't go to the library and say you read there, then you go there and start sleeping. Pick a location that you know that will actually aid your success. The third Avenger is actually your reading schedule. How long are you going to be reading per day? Our wonderful top student in our last video, Mr. Chukwudi, said that he reads money during the weekends and pushes everything that he's meant to do during the week and concentrates his effort during the weekend. So is that what you want to do? Or do you want to spread out your whole energy over the whole week and then reading 30 minutes a day? I myself, I try my best to read at least a little something every single day so that during the semester, I'm not frustrated. So the fourth thing that you're going to check during this your blueprint is, so are you going to foster collaboration this your semester? And if not, why? If yes, why? And how is it going to help you? And the last Avenger, but definitely not the least, what materials are you going to use in each subject that's going to ensure that you actually do better this semester? Are you going to use textbooks? Are you going to read just the notes? Are you going to use YouTube videos? Are you going to enroll in courses? What are you going to do that is actually going to ensure that this semester is the best semester? And then remember that worksheet I was talking to you about? If you check inside the description, you can actually see the worksheet I created for you guys that can help you to know what sabotaged you in your last semester and to also aid you to answer the new questions in this semester to ensure that you actually get a whole lot better. And so now that we're done with that, let's get on with the video. Well, now we journey on to stage 2, and this stage 2 is actually called mini projects. I need to pay very rapt attention to this particular stage because it's actually the only reason why I had my first and last 2-1. Pay very rapt attention because in this particular stage we'll be gathering our army that we'll use fighting the battle, and the whole army that actually can be summarized as tag. And we'll be talking about the captain of our first division. First letter T stands for test. Your tests are actually divided into 3 particular parts, which the first one is lecturers that do not do tests. These lecturers simply just do classworks, and those classworks will actually make up your 30/30. And so how do you use this your particular army to fight those particular kinds of tests? So what you need to do is actually ensure that you come for, if I'm being realistic, 95% of the classes, so that you can do all those classworks and ensure that your test scores are very high enough. And so that, and most times this kind of lecturers that do not do tests is those things that they did in class that they will bring out in your exam. So not just try your best to do the classworks and the assignments, but also pay very rapt attention to what the lecturers are saying in class, because those are the things that you actually come out. And second part of the third division is actually the lecturers that bring out exactly what they did in class. So these lecturers, they don't like stress, they just teach you in class, and exactly what they taught you or exactly what they give you a tutorial question, that is what you see in your exam. And so for this particular one, the strategy is simply to do exactly what they gave you. Nobody is sending you. If you want to read extra things so that you can become better, that one is good for you. But actually ensure that you also focus much on the things that the lecturer has given you, because those are the things that you see in your exam to ensure that you get the highest score. Like I've said before, academic Academic excellence is not a function of intelligence, it's a function of diligence. And so you putting in the effort to actually read and understand the things that the lecturer has already given you is your best shot at getting your A this semester. And so the third is actually the most important one, and these people are the most deadly people, and actually divided into two aspects as well. It actually talks about the lecturers that they teach something, but they don't really assess exactly what they do in class. These kind of lecturers, they might have a very, very bulky note, and then they might go in between the lines and pick one disgusting question from nowhere. And we also have the calculation kind of people that they don't set the kind of calculation questions that are inside their notes. Instead, they go into the near and the nearby futures and go and bring questions. And so there's two ways you can fight against these kind of people. You can either read concentrated, or you can read diluted. So reading concentrated, that just simply means that you're reading exactly what the lecturer gave you, but with a keener eye. You're reading every single thing and making sure you know it to the max. And then when you're reading diluted, it means you're reading textbooks, you're reading materials, you're watching videos, every single thing that you can get your hands on. That's what you're actually making sure that you're doing. And a secret tip that I've not actually yet reviewed, that is that you can actually pay attention to actually what your classmates are saying on the group. Because somebody might just release something on the group and be like, oh, you guys are here, I'm reading this particular thing. And before you know it, you see it in exam. So be sure to pay attention to those ones as well. The second division of the army is actually A, which stands for assignments. Assignments are divided into two. The ones that you need to know and the ones that you don't need to know. And the ones that you need to know are divided into the ones that you need to do and the ones that you don't need to do, and vice versa for the ones that you don't need to know. The ones that you need to know but you don't need to do, ensure that you actually memorize them, because those are materially the ones that you see inside of your exam. The ones that you need to know and you actually need to do, these ones actually count for your scores and etc. I had a course like that they used to actually use our assignments for our test scores, and so pay attention to those assignments. The ones that you don't need to know but you need to do, these ones actually pay a heavy amount to your to your test scores as well, so ensure that you do them. And the ones that you don't need to do and you don't need to know, why are you doing it? I'm all about energy maximization, yeah? And I hate doing things that I don't need to do. And if you don't need to do it and it's not help you at all in any way or form, why are you doing it? But try your best to do all your assignments if you actually can, because you don't know which one can be which one. Third captain of the third division, and it's the third for a reason, is actually group projects. Group projects actually are divided into two as well. The ones that you need to participate in and the ones that you don't need to participate in at all in any way or form. So the ones that you need to participate in, these are the ones that most likely carry a whole lot of marks and you actually learn a whole lot from by doing it. And guess what the other one is, obviously. I don't want to talk too much on this part because we still have a whole lot to do, so let's get on with it. So now that we have our battle strategy, we need to get ready for battle. And we all know these battlegrounds and they're very, very, very familiar, and that is exams. But there's a way that you've been approaching your exams that be making you to have unnecessary carryovers. And right now I'm about to share a strategy that I've been using for the past 8 years, which is actually since when I was in secondary school. And I'm very sad that my classmates are watching this because I never wanted to review this to anybody else, but anything for you guys, so let's get on with it. And so the first thing is simply taking advantage of the time before the battle. One thing I always like to do before my exams is that if I know that this course I'm having is on Monday, I don't start reading for that particular course. I start reading it backwards, in the sense that I start reading for the ones that are down, all the way down to my first course. Or sometimes I just simply do it that I read it according to my timetable using that first week of my exams. Not that you start reading for only your first course throughout the first week of your exam. No, that is very, very wrong. What you should do is that you should spend your first week to read all your courses that you have done, so that during your exam, when it comes to that particular exam, you are just revising. And so what you see most people do, they will now read that first course that they have all throughout their first week, and when the time comes for all the remaining papers, they have to start reading from scratch, and most times there's no time. And you can see, I'm telling you your first week. So if you even know your exam timetable 2 weeks before, you're even more at an advantage. So make sure you cover all your courses before exam starts, so that during your exam, what you're doing is revising and not learning. And so the second one is time categorization. So we all know that we have different times for which you can have your exam during your stay at your university. And so for 8 year exams, what most people do is that they simply just sleep during the day, and then during the night they do all night. But me, I only do that when I know that this semester I've not paid attention to this course at all. But a way that I found that really works is that I can read from like 9 to 12, and I'll wake up by 5, and then continue to read from there. In the case whereby you have an exam by 10, you can also as well do the same strategy that I just said before, and you can read from that 5 to like 8, like that. For an exam that you have by 12, I guess you can do the same thing. And then for an exam that you have later on in the day, this is a better way that you can go about it. If you have a paper the next day after it, yeah, then you can spend like, so like if you wake up by, let's say 7, 8, you have like 8 to 4 before that your exam. You can simply use 8 to 11 reading the course that you have the next day, and then use the remainder of the time to read for that course that you have that same day, so that when you come to the night and you have that your next course to read, you're just revising what you did in the morning, and it will be a whole lot easier for you to remember. You get the idea? And so 8 to 10, the same strategy. You read 9 to 12, sleep 12 to 5, wake up, go for your exam. Then exams that are 12 to 2, you can wake up by like 7, 6, then read for that length of time, and then for 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. exams, you can actually just read your course that you're having the next day from like 8 to 11, and then proceed to continue to read for the course. So that's that. And then the third one, very, 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 very important one. If you don't pay attention here, you are nothing but a finished man. And so your exams are divided into 2 types actually: calculation and written exams. And so each particular type of exam have a specific strategies that you can actually use to ensure that you actually make the most of each one of them. And I'm going to be deep diving into the three strategies that each one of them have to ensure that you actually get the best out of these particular exams. And I'm going to start with calculation because I prefer calculation to written exams. And so calculation, the first exam, I've talked about this in a particular video, and it's called PPP: practice, practice, practice. Not just practicing the exams that your lecturer gave you, practicing wide as well, so that you don't just cram the particular structure that the lecturer has given you, but you also understand how to apply it to different types of questions, so that you can ensure that you actually understand the concept as a whole. So the second one that you can actually do for calculation subjects is simply list all the formulas. And I always do this. There's no calculation exam I don't do this. The day you catch me not doing this, it's not me that you saw. I always list out every single formula I know that I have to do and use for this particular course. Why am I doing this? To practice and see if I actually remember all the formulas. Not the one that you go to exam hall and be thinking, did they put square or was it cube they put? That's the demonical. So you need to make sure that you actually list out every single formula that you have from your head, not from the textbook. If you cannot remember it, what you're doing is that when you list it out from your head, you now check the textbook to reference, say, where did I make mistakes? When you get to exam hall now, you will now see that, remember that, I made this mistake, and you will not make it again. And the third technique is quality, the Feynman technique. And so the Feynman technique is just simply where you practice like as if you're teaching it to somebody that is younger than you, and then you try to explain it in your simplest terms. And so you can simply use the Feynman to an imaginary student. You can use the Feynman for your classmates. You can use the Feynman for anybody. So just try your best and teach that thing that you're actually learned, so that you can actually remember it better. And so moving on to written courses. The first technique that you can simply use is writing from memory. And I always do this when I know that the course is very, very bulky. I try my best to list out all the topics I can remember. I try my best to write down all I can remember for the particular topic that I know that can come out in the exam. Why are you doing this? So that you can know the kind of mistakes that you're making when you're writing it. When you're writing but instead of D. Things that special mistakes that can actually make your lecturer to subtract marks from you. Try your best to look at how to do your writing from a memory. Don't cheat though. Actually make sure you try your best to write everything that you know you yourself can remember, and then go on to reference from your textbooks. So the second one, active recall. Hey, how many times have I said active recall on this channel? I'm going to just link all the videos that I've spoken about active recall. I don't say that for people, but active recall will save your destiny. Active recall is actually goes in line with writing from a memory. Try your best to actually actively remember things that you have done, either by watching a video about it, actually doing a demonstration, or practically doing it. But I'm not going to go into deep about this. I've spoken too much about this on this channel. I'm linking the videos by this side. Then the last one, I use this for some particular courses in my school, and that is flashcards. So you simply write down a particular part of the definition of thing you want to remember, and then on the other side you write down the full thing. And so this flashcard is very, very essential for active recall, and actually helps you actually easily remembering all the things that you actually need to know about a particular course. What people that see you or coming to see you, use it for your TMC and DOD to work wonders for you. I'm telling you the truth. So flashcards are very, very essential. Like, people use it everywhere, and you can even make it aesthetic, have blue, pink, all that. Me, I just use sticky notes, so that I go even tell me do my flashcard. So I don't know anyhow you want to do it, but ensure that you're getting the best out of what a flashcard is actually for. And I'm sure that you will not regret it. And the second one that I'm actually going to talk about, and I used a lot during this my exam. I hope that people that helped me are not watching to hear, they might get offended. I think we all know the popular quotes that says that if you want to go fast, walk alone. If you want to go far, work together, or something like that. And so when I know that I've actually not learned something and I want to learn it faster, I just go and simply meet someone to teach me. When you meet someone to teach you, you're most likely going to learn it a whole lot faster, and then you try to learn it by yourself. And so that is a very, very important thing that you should know, that when you're on the battlefield, ensure that you just go and meet somebody else when you know that this exam is like how many seconds. There's no time again. Just make sure you just go and meet somebody else to teach you, rather than stressing yourself to learn it by yourself for 3 hours. Why not just go and meet somebody else who can teach you in 30 minutes? If you watched all the way here, I feel very, very sorry for you, because if you don't apply the things I'm going to say in this lab chapter, everything you have watched in the past 15 minutes will just simply be a waste of time. And so we're going into the first stage, which is called the post-battle strategy. And so the first thing is simply your mindset. There's no point in you doing all these things that you are doing if you don't believe that you can actually become a 5.0 or a first class student. And so I'm not going to go in much into this because I've already kept you guys for so long. But check the worksheet in the description. I tell you how to deal with all the limiting beliefs that you simply have and how to combat them. So be sure to actually download that worksheet because it's going to help you a lot. And then the second thing is simply praise God and hope for the best. Right now, you finish the exam, and the best thing you can do is to hand it over to God, who can actually do the things that you cannot do. So don't let your faith dwindle. God likes men of unwavering faith. And so ensure that you praise God and ensure that you don't give up, because that's the only way that you can actually get the result that you want. And the third one, something that people don't really talk about, is revalidation. I know that probably in public schools you guys might not be able to do this, but for those that can do revalidation, you know that you worked hard for this course and people are doing you anyhow. Revalidate, Joe. What do you mean? You're gonna sit back and watch the devil try to take your result from you? What do you mean? Go back and revalidate, because you don't know what can actually happen. So my friend was telling me a story about a guy that actually got his result and saw that he had, like, was it a few F's and D's, and he went to go and revalidate, and all of them changed, and that's how his first class got delivered. I've heard testimonies of people that when they got their results, they had a B in a particular course, and when they went to go and revalidate, their 5.0 dropped. So you don't know what can actually happen if you revalidate that particular course. And I forgot to mention, there was actually a stage 5, which is simply repeat and do it all over again. And so I hope this actually helped you guys, to build that CGPA that you actually want. So don't forget to research, don't forget the mini projects, don't forget the battle strategy, don't forget the post-battle strategy, and these things will actually ensure that you actually move the needle forward and graduate without your desired results. Please, I hope that you have not watched all the way to this point and did not like or comment something else, because this video took hairs off my head. The video took a lot to make, it's been a lot, and so I would actually really appreciate if you actually like this video, so that more people can actually get to watch it. And if you actually like content like this, what are you waiting for, Joe? Subscribe, because this is the kind of content I live to make. And so if you actually want to also hear firsthand the kind of techniques that the top students are actually using to get better results, you have to click on this video by this side so that you get even more valuable content just like this one. I love you guys. I wish you guys the best that life has to offer, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.